All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're looking at a pretty major shift in how we actually evaluate crypto ecosystems. We're focusing on why Ciforus intentionally frames its Ciforus token as the economic layer around a live, functioning privacy product, rather than just launching a token that's desperately searching for a future use case. Token utility is simply easier to assess when the product context actually exists today. So how does Ciforus pull this off? Let's unpack it.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The empty token problem. 2. Why product context matters. 3. The privacy product ecosystem. 4. The native economic layer. And 5. Guardrails and public review. Let's get into it.
Starting with Section 1, the empty token problem, evaluating hype versus reality.
This is a recurring issue we see all across the crypto space. Why do so many tokens lack a real product? Projects will claim absolutely world-changing utility for their tokens, but the actual product is completely invisible. You get a flashy white paper, a highly speculative roadmap, and, well, honestly, just a lot of promises. The token ends up looking like it literally just borrowed a product narrative to justify its own existence.
And the contrast here is just stark. Think about hype-first pre-sales versus the product-first model. On one hand, you have those hype-first pre-sales that essentially sell a plan usually backed by empty waitlists and aggressive countdown timers, right? But on the other side, the product-first model demands that the serious architectural work, the actual code, and the transparent structures are fully completed before public marketing even begins. That's the path Ciforus took. They built the serious part first.
Moving on to Section 2, why product context matters, anchoring token utility to a live application.
There's a quote that really hits the nail on the head here. Ciforus is the product. Ciforus is the economic engine of the product. A token utility story is inherently stronger when it's actually tied to a product you and I can inspect. It proves the token isn't just some isolated speculative asset. It actually has a real job to do within a system that already exists. Because Ciforus built that serious part first, we can evaluate it as a real, functioning environment. We're talking about a live, privacy-first product ecosystem that's specifically designed to reduce fragmentation. So instead of just trusting a speculative white paper promise, we, as evaluators, can actually get in there and look at the live tools they've built for privacy-sensitive, crypto-native users.
All right, Section 3, the privacy product ecosystem, exploring the functional foundation.
Let's look at the actual tools. The Ciforus product layer connects multiple distinct modules into one highly secure ecosystem. We're looking at premium private email with a professional @ciforus.com identity. Then there's wallet-aware messaging, meaning your verified crypto wallet acts as your cryptographic trust anchor. Add to that encrypted storage, zero-knowledge encrypted notes where literally only you hold the keys, public active invoice pay links, and a really robust security center with strict recovery controls. In this ecosystem, privacy isn't just a feature tacked on at the end, it's the entire underlying infrastructure.
To organize all this, Ciforus utilizes a tiered access logic. Free, Pro, and Elite. And as you can see, as you move up those tiers, the number of verified wallets you can link and the active invoice pay links you can generate expands accordingly. The application already knows exactly how to differentiate these capabilities, which, if you think about it, sets the perfect stage for an economic layer to come in.
Which brings us to Section 4, the native economic layer, coordinating the ecosystem with the Ciforus token.
So let's talk about the token itself. The whole ecosystem is built around a strictly fixed supply of exactly 100 million tokens. It's an ERC-20 token deployed right on the Ethereum mainnet, which means it relies on battle-tested infrastructure. The contract is completely immutable, there's no minting function, absolutely no hidden transfer taxes, and no privileged owner-admin override capability. The fundamentals here are deliberately simple, transparent, and fully reviewable on-chain.
Okay, so what does the token actually do day to day? Well, it has immediate functional utility parameters. For example, if you use it for subscription checkouts instead of other crypto assets, you get a 20% discount. It also offers staking-based tier upgrades right inside the app, secure transfer and service credits, native reward distribution to keep the ecosystem aligned, and it acts as the preferred settlement asset for the PayLink ecosystem. Basically, it coordinates the entire economy of the product.
Now, let's explore their usage-linked deflation model, because this is where it gets really interesting. When the token is used for eligible platform services, the flow is structurally divided. 40% is allocated to the treasury, 20% supports liquidity, and crucially, 40% is sent straight to a public dead wallet. It's burned. This permanently removes it from circulation. This is a big deal because it actively links real day-to-day product usage to a transparent supply reduction rather than just relying on artificial scarcity theater.
And finally, Section 5, Guardrails and Public Review, focusing on transparency, risks, and independent research.
Now, we have to state a firm guardrail right here. Structure is not a price promise. Yes, a deflationary model creates structural scarcity, but it is never, ever a guarantee of price appreciation. Market value still heavily depends on adoption, liquidity, and overall execution. A strong structure does not remove presale risk, and Ciforus is actually incredibly direct about maintaining that calm, investor-aware discipline.
Because of these risks, Ciforus insists on a very clear public review path before you commit any capital. They actually encourage technical reviewers and buyers to put in the work. First, go visit Ciforus.com and the token page. Next, review their public documents and the audit. Then, go ahead and inspect that deployed ERC20 contract directly on Etherscan. And finally, join their public Telegram or Discord channels. They explicitly prefer informed users over rushed buyers.
So, the final question I want to leave you with today is this. In a market fueled by hype, will you evaluate the product before you evaluate the token? To complete your own independent review, I highly encourage you to visit Ciforus.com, read the deep dive article on Paragraph, and check out the dedicated Spotify episode linked below. The serious architectural work has been done, now it's your turn to inspect it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.